sold-out venues. A lot of people coming to the games. Crowds are up, attendance are up, TV ratings are up. We're up, Steve.
We are definitely up, enjoying a good contest. Lewis catch and shoot outside the three-point line. He's off the mark. Mika Vukona tips it to himself for one of those outstanding rebounds that he can get through his effort.
Stephen, it's an area of the game that the New Zealand Breakers have taken complete control of. As CJ Bruton, as easy as you like, splashes another three ball. But on the glass, it was almost even at half-time. 28-17, the New Zealand Breakers leading it now. So just those effort plays and size prevailing. Whoever says size doesn't matter is wrong. In this game, size matters.
And so does confidence.
And confidence, which Cam Tregar's got plenty of. But as the game ticks on, these bigger boys, they don't get any shorter. And rebounding becoming an issue for the Melbourne Tigers.
CJ creates some space for himself, gets it to Vukona. The shot's way off the mark. Ubaka gets it from Dorsey. Dorsey, after he gets a pass from Rush, off the back of the iron.
They continue to blaze away, the Melbourne Tigers, now 7 of 22. 31%.
Jackson with another steal.
Oh!
Right off the head of Mika Vukona.
Nasty one, too. Mika Vukona just not ready for that one.
And again, a turnover, backed up with another turnover. And Cedric Jackson gets it right back. Rush, who's had the hot hand. Oh, that rims out.
Everything but go in. Unlucky one for Liam Rush, but Cedric Jackson, one of those players similar to Darryl McDonald. When you're around and he's penetrating, you better have your hands ready, or you're going to cop a ball in the head, just like Mika Vukona just copped that last possession.
CJ Bruton.
Not as quick as he once was, but there's no substitute for intellect, and just cagey enough, a little shake and bake, and Benny Lewis all out of sorts from the top of the key. Now, admittedly, he'd expect a little bit of weak side help, but looked like their rotation was more they're going to send the guys to the baseline, and when you get beaten, weak side help, getting prepared to provide that help on the baseline side. You see what happens, very exposed, and the Melbourne Tigers trail it by 11 and looking out of sorts.
CJ Bruton, a career 83% shooter. Isn't going to miss many of those. Dillon looking for a cutter, gets it to Shagar. Cedric Jackson with the steal. Heads-up play finding Boucher as he was off balance. Jackson to Corletto. Catch and shoot outside the three-point line. Wilkinson will get the Breakers started again.
Again, another offensive rebound by the New Zealand Breakers.
Corletto finds Jackson. Jackson finds Wilkinson, but he can't get the finish. Boy, New Zealand really makes some good cuts when Jackson has the ball. They know it can go anywhere.
They do, and Wilkinson did a good job of hanging on that. You saw him bobbling around, and once he got fouled, just found a way to try and put the ball up on the ring to go to the line to shoot two. There's Trevor Gleeson. He's got some significant issues, and in the second half, the Melbourne Tigers, they just look small, Steve. Real small. Now, admittedly, they're up against a sizable team with Pledger and Wilkinson, two of the better big men running around. Throwing Mika Vukona and the athletic Thomas Abercrombie, they can make any team look small, but Matty Burston, they're hoping to have him back next week, and they need him.
Tregar has it knocked loose, swarming on the scoring camera. Tregar doesn't matter. He's able to get a quick one up, and he's got 22 on 11 of 14 shooting.
Just great composure. Ball bobbling around, but still was able to keep the body control and get the shot up.
CJ Bruton with a quick three, not able to get that one to go. I don't know how that ball got through C.J. Bruton and Cedric Jackson. They both read it and got a piece of it. Daniel Dillon inbound the ball to Ubaka. Rush. That's short. Just didn't finish that shot.
He's another one. You look at his shooting technique. Doesn't really have the full snap of the wrist and the follow through. It's almost like he comes up a little short with his shooting action.
Corletto on a nice backdoor cut and a pass from Dylan Boucher.
Steve, I reckon Trevor Gleeson might want to consider a timeout here because this looks like the Tigers are just going through the motions. They haven't really got the answers on the offensive end. Every possession, it's hard work.
Ubaka for three.
And they're just spraying them up. They're trying to shoot their way out of it from the three-point line. Now, I know they don't have that big, huge inside target, but Cameron Tregar's got to see more of the ball. 11 of 14. Give him some touches.
Extra pass goes to Gary Wilkinson. They get him involved. C.J. Bruton passed one up to get it to Gary Wilkinson, and the lead has jumped to 16 as the New Zealand Breakers have scored the last 5 points, 81-65.
Hello, all you lovely people in Australia. Jamie Oliver here. I'm really excited about the Ministry of Food Australia. The Good Guys is a great Australian company. Every single transaction that you make with the Good Guys will contribute. The Ministry of Food really does change lives, guys. Please get involved. Have a look at www.jamiesministryoffood.com. Click on Australia. I'm so excited about this. And please get involved. Take care. Mr. O.
Corletto, here, cross screen for Trigger, dribble enter, work that block, set it double down.
Thank you very much.
Got that, double down. Hey, now, 22-13, 22-13 on a make, back into 13. You're going to have to work your ring off to get outside the three-point shooters. Okay, here we go. Boys, 1, 2, 3, go.
Melbourne Tigers look like they're going to try and extend the defense a little bit and fall back into a zone defense, which they need to try something because what we've seen in this second half hasn't been working for them, and trying to mix it up, a little bit of variety. And you missed it, we're away at the break, but Trevor Gleeson identifying what we've identified too, Steve, is just the body language of the Melbourne Tigers. Their heads are low. They almost look like a defeated mob with 5.5 to go, trailing by 16. It's a tough assignment, but you've got to at least give the perception that you're still in it.
You see how they respond out of that timeout. They get it to their prolific Tregar, who gets it to Liam Rush. He misses a little sitter. Jump ball, alternating possessions will go to the Melbourne Tigers. Talk about how New Zealand Breakers spread it around. They've got 4 guys in double figures already. Corletto, Jackson, Abercrombie, and C.J. Bruton. And then they've got 3 more guys on 9.
Well, that's it, and they do have they've been renowned for that, Steve, with their wealth of scoring options. Perhaps it was a little camouflage last year because you had such a prolific and efficient and brilliant scorer in Kirk Penny. But they've got so many different guys that can step up on any given occasion and are good enough to individually get their team over the line. We just saw a bit of confusion about whose ball it should have been. The arrow was pointing the way of the Melbourne Tigers, but they've just figured it out themselves and said, no, it should have been a New Zealand ball. So they get it. Here we see that pressure defense that we're talking about. And good hands by Tommy Greer, almost coming up with it.
Tigers doing a better job of recognizing where Corletto was on that dribble penetration. Thomas Abercrombie.
And that's what we saw about Trevor Gleeson talking about at the end of that timeout when he said you've got to work your tails off and get out to the shooters. When you're in that zone and they're able to swing it, saw Thomas Abercrombie wide open.
Rush comes up short on his 3. Boucher with some good hustle. They kick it ahead to Corletto. Corletto lays it up and in, and New Zealand are turning this thing into a rout.
They are, and it's very unimpressive by the Melbourne Tigers. And there's another turnover. Daniel Dillon trying to create something off the dribble. A level of urgency now coming into the Melbourne Tigers, but I haven't liked the way they've got about it. When they've got down, they've just been blazing away from the three-point line, trying to shoot their way out of it.
You play good D, I'm not going to call a block on it.
New Zealand wanted a charge.
Well, they get the ball anyway. And they have looked in command on both ends of the floor in the second half.
Abercrombie upstairs to Wilkinson, who was hollering for the pass. Abercrombie, he delivers.
The Tigers have had a look at their zone defense the last couple of times down the floor, and from what we've seen, they should get out of it quick, smart.
Dillon up and under. And Tommy Greer attempts the offensive glass, but
Don't run, Mika, don't run.
New Zealand have had all the answers here in the fourth. Well, here in the second half, really. Jackson scoots by everybody and throws it between Wilkinson and Abercrombie.
That one, it legitimately looked like it slid out of his hands. It is really, really humid. A lot of sweat on the ball. Almost ball gets like that, as good as the sporting balls are. Just like sometimes like a wet bar of soap when you're out there. It's very hard to control, particularly for someone like Cedric Jackson, the pace of the game that he's playing at.
And he's got tremendous skills with the ball. As Corletto's wide open, and he misses one. Tommy Greer hanging on to Mika Bacona, and why not? Because he is active on every rebound.
A few of the fans start to head for the aisles. 65 points. A superb defensive effort in the second half by the New Zealand Breakers.
Abercrombie can't get his jump hook to go. Ibaka. Jackson trying to get a piece of that thing. Ibaka finally finds Daniel Dillon. And he hits his three-point shot from the baseline. Still down 20. They force the turnover. Melbourne Tigers ball.
It is, and right now, Steve, they're just playing for a little bit of pride. Very, very tough weekend it has been for the Melbourne Tigers, but coming up 0-2, admittedly against the top two teams in Perth and New Zealand. But probably more concerning to Trevor Gleeson is the way in which they've come up empty here in this second half. Just looked very lethargic on the offensive end, and defensively had no answer, particularly for Thomas Abercrombie, who is up to 18 points, 6 of 9 from the field, and he's got 5 rebounds. Cedric Jackson quietly going about his business as well. He's got 11 assists and 9 rebounds, so he's on par for a triple-double.
Wow, yeah. He has been super active. Melbourne Tigers only scoring 31 points in the second half. 2 minutes to go. Jackson takes one across the head. Well, the triple-double watch, Andrew. One more rebound for Cedric Jackson. Jackson up top to Pledger. Making it look easy.
There. Another assist to Cedric Jackson. Brings his total to 12 assists.
Ibaka's fouled from behind. Now, Trevor Gleeson finally gets that continuation that he was asking for in the first half. Foul occurs there, but he's already into that
Shooting action.
shooting action. No disagreement on that one. New Zealand have to miss first for Jackson to get a rebound. 9 rebounds and from the point guard position.
Doesn't get a lot easier for the Melbourne Tigers either. They're up again next Sunday against the Gold Coast Blaze, who you can imagine they'd be a little bit angry. They've dropped a couple. Now they're below 500.
Just going behind the Sydney Kings after losing to them last night. They switched positions with Sydney. The Tigers, I'm sorry, the Gold Coast Blaze now 6 and 7.
New Zealand Breakers there at home to the Adelaide 36ers on Friday night. Adelaide, from what we saw of them last week against Sydney, looked like they had the capabilities of stringing a few wins together after an impressive win over the Sydney Kings, but couldn't get the job done last night against the Cairns Taipans at home. So another home loss.
Ibaka gets them both. Fletcher needed to be 8 feet tall to get that one. Back on a sweet dish, but Cedric Jackson with another steal. Just strips Cam Trigger. Kona. Fletcher can't get the rebound to go.
Different style about him, but the instincts of Cedric Jackson, the way he can find the open man, very similar to the great Darryl McDonald.
Lewis for 3. He bangs that one down. 22 seconds to go. Well, they make it more of a contest, but New Zealand has had this one in the bag for quite some time. Impressive performance by New Zealand as Carletto's off the mark with his floater. That'll go to the Tigers. Lewis, extra pass to Daniel Dillon. He comes